Did you know that the US is the fourth largest country in the world by area? With over 3.6 million square miles, 50 states, and 14 territories, Americans can travel thousands of miles without ever leaving their country. We also have the seventh strongest passport in the world, giving us visa-free access to much of the world. But here in the US, in our own country, in a place where we're supposed to be able to go anywhere we want, there are many places that tourists are not allowed. They are places that are forbidden. Some are forbidden for safety reasons, while others are forbidden for reasons of national security. In any case, they are a no-go. Number 10 is practically a cliche, and that's Area 51 in southern Nevada. It's probably the most iconic no-go zone in America. Officially, it's a highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nevada Test and Training Range. But unofficially, it's a place that harbors aliens and UFOs that the government doesn't want us mere peasants to know about. The closest you can get is driving by the entrance, while it is miles away from the aliens. Area 51 gained a renewed sense of mystery and interest when a Facebook event in 2019 called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us, encouraged people to show up on September 20th, 2019 and literally storm inside Area 51. The post was meant to be satirical, but it gained traction. However, on the actual day, only a few hundred people showed up, not the millions who claimed they would. As anticlimactic as that was, just a few months later, COVID locked down the nation and all attention was drawn away from Area 51. Coincidence? Depends on who you ask. Number 9 is Centralia, Pennsylvania. The town on fire, literally. According to the 1980 census, the town had over 1,000 people, but by the 1990 census, that number dropped to a mere 63 lone residents. Today, that number is down to 4. So, what happened? It all started on May 27, 1962. The coal mining town is above a labyrinth of tunnels filled with coal. The source of the fire that began on that fateful day in May is still hotly debated, but nonetheless, a fire ignited. Because the ground is full of coal, the fire can't be extinguished. The town's underground has literally been on fire for over 60 years. At its current rate, the fire is expected to burn for at least another 250 years. While it's not technically forbidden to visit Centralia, it definitely comes with risks. Sinkholes happen at random, and the air is toxic. There are actually things to see, like the old cemetery, complete with smoke coming up from the earth. There are a few lone remaining houses, and plenty of scorched earth, devoid of any plant life. If you enter, you do so at your own risk. As disturbing as it is not closed off to the public, but there will be no one to call if you cave into a sinkhole or struggle to breathe as toxic gas fills your lungs. Number 8 is North Brother Island, New York. And we're not talking about a place hidden in the mountains of upstate New York. This island is less than a mile from Manhattan. This 22-acre island in the East River sits between the South Bronx's industrial coast and the notorious prison of Rikers Island, which is a familiar name for anyone addicted to the 302 seasons of Law & Order SVU. It is illegal for the public to step foot on the island, which only adds to the lore. The island's history dates back to the 1600s when it was claimed by the Dutch East India Company. In the 1850s, a hospital opened up and the island was used as a quarantine site for smallpox and other deadly diseases. Even the notorious Typhoid Mary was once confined on this island. Another morbid time in its history was in 1904 when the island was the site of a shipwreck. The General Slocum caught fire and 1,021 people either burned to death or drowned before they could escape to the island. That's almost as many people that died on the Titanic. In 1916, it was used to treat polio patients. By the 1930s, the need to have an island to quarantine people was becoming obsolete, and slowly the island was abandoned and fell into disrepair, leaving us the mysterious and illegal-to-visit island that we know today. Number 7 keeps us in New York City, and that is the New York Stock Exchange. Forget the images from Wolf of Wall Street or old movies that show hundreds of people on the main floor writing furiously and screaming out numbers as the prices of stocks rise and fall. After the September 11th attacks in 2001, the stock exchange was cut off for tourism. It makes sense given its proximity to the Twin Towers and given that that location was chosen specifically to target American capitalism. You can still see the Charging Bull statue and tour the gold vault inside the Federal Reserve Bank, located a few blocks away, but that's as close as you can get. The stock exchange has been operating since all the way back in the late 1700s, when auctioneers would trade and set prices on commodities like tobacco and wheat. It was far less exciting than it is today, but unfortunately, you can no longer see the organized chaos of where money is made and lost in minutes. Number 6 is ADX Florence, just outside of Florence, Colorado. Forget Area 51, this may just be one of America's most secure buildings. This penitentiary is the country's only supermax facility, referring to its extremely high levels of security. It's home to prisoners deemed not only too dangerous for the general public, but even too dangerous for a traditional prison. Inmates here are rumored to be in solitary confinement for up to 24 hours a day. In fact, the facility is so tightly secured and restricted that very few pictures of it even exist. Why would anyone want to visit a prison anyway, you might wonder? Well, ask the 1.5 million people that visit Alcatraz each year. The idea for this supermax prison came in 1983 when members of the Aryan Brotherhood fatally stabbed 2 corrections officers. Director of Federal Prisons Norman Carlson proposed the idea of isolating the most dangerous inmates with seemingly no regard for human life. Under his leadership, the prison was operated in permanent lockdown for 23 years, serving as a model for ADX as a control unit prison, which eventually opened in Colorado in 1995. Today, the prison houses 332 male inmates. Even their own family members have to go through extreme security checkpoints just to get in. So, for all you crime buffs, you'll have to stick to Alcatraz. Number 5 is the abandoned farmhouse in Seneca Lake, New York. It is located upstate about an hour southwest of Syracuse and an hour southeast of Rochester. The creepy abandoned building alone should deter visitors. The mysterious property has been abandoned for decades, entwined in poison ivy vines. Vintage cars sit rusting in the elements. Despite its creepy and mysterious nature, that isn't what's keeping people away. It is located on restricted private property, which only adds to the intrigue. The only thing that makes this place more tempting to visit is the fact that its history is as mysterious as the dilapidated building itself. Very little is known about the property's history, and even less is known about why it was abandoned. Even though it is on restricted private property, it seems that people still find ways to sneak in and take pictures. But enter at your own risk, as you would be trespassing. Number 4 is Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Why is Cuba on this American list, you might ask? Well, it is under US control and has been since 1903. It's not quite like Puerto Rico, but functions more like a US embassy with a school and a golf course for families. So we're going to let this exception slide for this list. It's hard enough for Americans to visit Cuba, as they need to not only get a visa to visit Cuba, but have to apply to the US government to visit under specific categories. It's complicated, so why can't we all just go to Guantanamo? Unless you've been living under a rock, most Americans know that Guantanamo Bay is used to house terrorists or prisoners being detained by the US. The mystery deepens as rumors of conditions in the prison range from mistreatment to outright torture. Nevertheless, it is a place to keep Americans safe from people accused of terrorism or suspected of terrorism. Currently, 29% of the prisoners are Afghan, 17% Saudi, 15% Yemeni, and a few other nationalities. Good luck getting there. Number 3 is Niihau Island, Hawaii. You may think you know all the islands in the archipelago, like Oahu and Kauai, but there are actually 137 islands that make up the 50th state. Most are open for tourism, but not Niihau. Affectionately named Hawaii's Forbidden Island, Niihau lies around 15 miles off the coast of Kauai and is home to just 170 people. In the late 1800s, Elizabeth Sinclair, a Scottish plantation owner who moved to New Zealand, and eventually Hawaii, purchased Niihau Island from former Hawaiian king Kamehameha V, agreeing to protect the land from outsiders. Despite being an outsider herself, Sinclair's tie to the island made her to be regarded as a chiefess by the native Hawaiians because of her dedication to protecting the integrity of the islands. Today, the stunning island is owned by her great-grandsons, Keith and Bruce Robinson, and remains closed off to outsiders. Number 2 is the Coca-Cola Vault in Atlanta, Georgia. The vault holds the secret recipe for the world's most famous drink. So why wouldn't it be locked up in an inaccessible vault? You can get near the vault if you visit the World of Coca-Cola attraction in Atlanta. The 20-acre complex is a museum dedicated to the iconic soft drink. But visitors will notice that the vault is not part of their experience. Tour guides sneakily avoid the vault, walking you through the labyrinth of information, distracting you with samples of the fizzy wonder. But the vault, which looks like something in a bank, is heavily guarded and only a handful of people have access to it. People have speculated about what else could be hidden in the secret vault. The guards have to make sure that a Pepsi spy doesn't infiltrate the vault and release the secret of its competitor. And number 1 is Tillamook Rock Lighthouse in Oregon, which is located off the coast of Ecola State Park, about an hour and a half west of Portland. The lighthouse sits on a small island, which is more of an ominous rock than it is an island. Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, nicknamed Terrible Tilly, is considered too dangerous to visit. Those who want to catch a glimpse of Tilly will have to do so from the shore of the mainland or in a passing boat. The island was acquired in 1878 with the goal of constructing a lighthouse. The first person sent out to survey the island was swept out to sea, never to be seen again. Constructing the lighthouse was no less dangerous than surveying the island, as the rock is hard to access and intense storms wreaked havoc on the crew. In January of 1880, just 4 months into construction, a ferocious storm brought huge waves crashing on the rocks and over the worksite, sweeping away the crew's tools and provisions. Though all the workers survived, they were stranded for over 2 weeks waiting for new food, clothing, and supplies. It took over a year to construct the lighthouse, and a mere few weeks before Tilly's completion in January of 1881, the ship Lupatia was shipwrecked in heavy fog, killing all 16 of the crew members. There was one survivor, however, and that was the crew's dog. So, needless to say, this place is off limits.